So here's where things stand with The Batman Part 2, and honestly, the more details that come out, the more this thing starts to feel like something genuinely special is being built. Production is reportedly set to kick off in May in London, which means we're actually doing this. After years of delays, rewrites, and the usual Hollywood chaos, Matt Reeves is finally getting back into Gotham. Most of the major roles are locked in at this point, but there's one piece of the puzzle that's apparently proving really difficult to cast. Christopher Dent, Harvey's father. This isn't a throwaway role either. The fact that Reeves is spending this much time trying to find the right actor tells you everything about how central the Dent family dynamic is going to be to this story. Word is that Brad Pitt was originally approached for this part before Sebastian Stan was cast as Harvey himself. That alone tells you the caliber of actor Reeves is looking for. Once Stan came aboard, Reeves apparently shifted his search towards someone older, someone who could believably be Stan's father and carry the kind of weight the role seems to demand. Stellan Skarsgård was reportedly offered the part and passed. Then Daniel Craig's name started circulating as another candidate, and now, according to World of Real, Craig has also declined. His reasons reportedly have nothing to do with the script or the money though. He's already committed to Damien Chazelle's untitled prison film, the one shooting alongside Cillian Murphy and Michelle Williams, so it's a scheduling conflict more than anything else. Still, the search continues, and whoever ends up in that role is going to carry a lot of narrative responsibility. Now let's talk about the story itself, because this is where things get really compelling. There's a report claiming the plot centers on Harvey Dent as Gotham's district attorney, Commissioner Gordon played again by Jeffrey Wright, and Batman forming this uneasy, unstable alliance to take down a serial killer while simultaneously trying to dismantle the city's deeply entrenched mob infrastructure. If you've read DC Comics at any serious level, you immediately recognize that premise. That is The Long Halloween. And that matters enormously. The Long Halloween, written by Jeff Loeb with art by Tim Sale, is one of the most acclaimed Batman stories ever put to paper. It follows a killer called Holiday who murders on specific holidays throughout the course of a year, always targeting members of Gotham's Falcone crime family. What makes the story legendary isn't just the mystery, it's what the mystery does to the people trying to solve it. Batman, Gordon, and Harvey Dent enter the story as reluctant partners, three men who believe in Gotham's future even when the city gives them every reason not to. But the investigation slowly corrodes that partnership from the inside. The pressure, the paranoia, the corruption bleeding in from every direction, it breaks things. And at the center of that breaking point is Harvey Dent. In The Long Halloween, Harvey starts as one of Gotham's last honest men. He's aggressive, idealistic, almost reckless in how hard he pushes against organized crime. His marriage to Gilda is one of the story's most quietly devastating threads. She loves him, but she's also watching Gotham eat him alive in real time. By the end of the story, after acid is thrown in his face and his mind fractures completely, Harvey becomes Two-Face. The transformation isn't just physical, it's the culmination of everything the city put him through. The Long Halloween is essentially a tragedy about what happens when a good man gives everything to a city that was never going to give anything back. Now here's why the ending of the first Reeves film sets this up so naturally. The Batman closed with Gotham literally flooded, the city destabilized, the political structure in ruins. Into that vacuum steps Harvey Dent, a new DA, a reform candidate, the kind of figure a broken city desperately wants to believe in. Reeves basically laid the thematic groundwork already. You have Batman still operating in the shadows, Gordon working within a system that barely trusts him, and now this new DA who's either going to help clean things up or become another casualty of Gotham's corruption. The first film also took place around Halloween, which is obviously a nod to the source material, but Reeves isn't going to just repeat the same holiday killer structure beat for beat. That would be redundant and honestly beneath what he's doing. He never adapts comics panel by panel. He takes the emotional skeleton, the relationships, the thematic arcs, the moral decay, and rebuilds it inside his own grounded, almost noir-flavored universe. Scarlett Johansson has been reported as joining the cast, and while there's been no official confirmation or comment from her camp, the role that keeps getting attached to her name is Gilda Gold, Harvey Dent's wife. In the comics, Gilda is quietly one of the most important characters in the entire Long Halloween saga. She's not a superhero, she's not a villain, she's just a person who loves someone who is slowly being destroyed by forces neither of them can fully understand. In a Reeves film, that kind of grounded, intimate character work is exactly where the story could hit hardest. Having Gilda present from the beginning means every crack in Harvey's composure carries weight. Every scene where he's a little too intense, a little too obsessed, you feel it differently because you know what's at stake for her too. If Johansson is indeed playing Gilda, that's a genuinely smart piece of casting for what sounds like a genuinely smart story. There's also a broader context worth mentioning here. Longtime comic readers sometimes refer to The Long Halloween as an unofficial sequel to Batman Year One, Frank Miller's definitive origin story. Some fans even call it Year Two. One thing worth emphasizing though, Harvey Dent is almost certainly not becoming Two-Face in this film. Reeves has been very deliberate in interviews about the fact that the Batman Part 2's main villain is someone who hasn't really been adapted in live action before. That statement alone basically rules out Harvey's full transformation for this chapter. More likely, he functions as a supporting player here, maybe even third tier in the narrative, while his arc is quietly being seeded for a future installment. The cracks appear in this movie, the fall comes later. That's good storytelling, that's how you build tragedy correctly. Barry Keoghan is officially back as the Joker. For a while, the running theory was that Reeves was saving him entirely for a third film, treating the Arkham scenes from the first movie as a long game setup, but that's clearly not the plan. Keoghan is returning in some capacity for Part 2, and once you confirm the Joker is back, the door naturally opens for other returns as well, particularly Paul Dano's Riddler. The first film ended with both of them in Arkham, which was such a deliberate image. Reeves doesn't put things on screen without intention. The idea that those two characters have been sitting in a cell together, Riddler obsessing over his failure, Joker quietly amused by all of it, that's a dynamic with sequel energy written all over it. Reeves himself, in a recent interview, talked about how protective he is over the story's secrets. He said that because this is so deeply a detective story, protecting the mystery is essential. He described the idea of plot details leaking as a kind of heartbreak because for him, the whole experience of going to the movies has always been about being surprised. He wants audiences to walk in and genuinely not know what's coming. That's a rarer and rarer thing in blockbuster filmmaking, and it's honestly refreshing to hear a director talk about it that way. Co-writer Mattson Tomlin was also asked for an update on the script by a fan, and his response was worth taking seriously. He said that they worked exceptionally hard to tell a story worthy of the character, something that feels new and dangerous, with the bar as high as it could possibly be. He added that they pushed themselves past their limits and are genuinely looking forward to being able to talk about it openly once people have actually seen it. That's not hype machine boilerplate. That reads like someone who actually went through the ringer on a script they care about. Putting all of this together, the Long Halloween framework, the Dent family casting challenges, Gilda Gold potentially joining the story, the Joker's confirmed return, and a creative team that sounds like they genuinely bled over this thing. The Batman Part 2 isn't shaping up to be a bigger version of the first film. It sounds like it's trying to be a different kind of film entirely, darker in a different way, more operatic in its tragedy. If Reeves pulls it off the way the pieces suggest he's trying to, this could be the rare superhero sequel that actually justifies its existence rather than just extending a franchise.